Hello, welcome to JIBRIN Angle on Oweleketv. My name is JIBRIN, and this is my angle. Wow, I think the right word to start this monologue these days. Wow. Honestly, I thought I have seen all from Nigeria and in Nigeria. I thought I have seen and heard of unprecedented, because there are several negative unprecedented in Nigeria. Strange things happen in Nigeria. Honestly, I thought I've seen all. Anyway, let's watch this video. I'll make my comment after the video.
The governor of Osun State, Ademola Adeleke, on Tuesday granted pardon to Oweleketv, who was sentenced to death by hanging for stealing a fowl and eggs when he was 17 years old. Social media was awash with reactions after a video surfaced online showing Segun's parents narrating the story of their son. The mother said her son was said to have broken into the house of a police officer in April 2010 and carted away some of his belongings. He was subsequently charged with conspiracy and robbery and was sentenced to death. Governor Adeleke, upon receiving the news, granted the pardon in a statement shared on X. Let's read Adeleke's tweet there. He wrote, "I have received the report of a case of a young man reportedly sentenced to death by hanging in Osun State for stealing a fowl. Consequently, I have directed the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Osun State, to commence full investigation into the matter and initiate process to grant prerogative of mercy to the young man. Osun is a land of justice and equity and must ensure fairness and protection of the sanctity of lives. I assure members of the public that this matter is receiving my direct attention with every sense of urgency also attached to our response to this matter."
Wow. Again, honestly, wow. Someone forwarded this news to me. I was busy actually working on a building construction drawing, and someone forwarded this the video to me, and I just felt I had to suspend what I was doing to actually talk about this, because it is you see me smiling, but the smile is a smile of anger and a kind of I don't know how to describe it. It is so appalling. This is ridiculous. For God's sake, someone stole a fowl, a chicken, or whatever you choose to call it. Even just stealing, let's even assume it's more than for a fowl. Call it gold, diamond, stole something. Just stealing. Because I consider stealing is stealing. A thief is a thief. Why will that warrant to death sentence, for God's sake? Where on earth is such law in play? I don't get it. And what judge actually, what judge actually summoned that is his conscience or her conscience to do this? Honestly, they need to find out who judge did this. And they need to, just like the governor said, it has to be investigated. For God's sake, that judge, the judge that actually sentenced this boy to death, my God, this is unbelievable. The judge that sentenced this boy to death should be dealt with. It is not, if the judge is still excuse me, in service, it's not about suspension. It's not about useless, they always use one word, disciplinary action. It should go beyond disciplinary action. When I mean disciplinary action could be that is the civil service way of disciplinary. We know what that means when you say when the civil service says disciplinary action shall be taken against an employee, you know what that means? It's just a slap on the wrist. What such person deserves is a real disciplinary action indeed, that is synonymous to this kind of inhumanity he meted on this boy or on this man. The boy was 17 years and he already spent 14 good years on a death row. Thank God this boy was not killed. Honestly, to God be the glory, he was not killed. Otherwise, who knows? How could this judge be this wicked and inhuman? And the so-called policeman was told he stole this chicken and probably boggled a policeman's resident, and they stole some items, which probably included this chicken. And I don't understand. So this policeman actually had the conscience, had the conscienceless heart in him to actually allow the judge to do this to this boy. At that time, he was still a teenager, 17 years, for God's sake. He was an underage boy. How could they do this? Honestly, this judge needs to be punished, and not it should go beyond being relieved of his judicial role. That this judge needs to be prosecuted and sent to jail for this kind of. I don't get it. Okay, I know the law does not hold judges, no matter what they do on the bench. The kind of judgment the law does not. But honestly, this is a different case. This is a case that really stands out. It's a unique and peculiar case that deserves real physical punishment to be meted at this judge. And the shame on the policeman that actually took this boy to court. And for God's sake, what has the parent been doing for 14 good years? Okay, I understand. Looking at the woman, the mother seems to be, obviously they are from a less privileged background. I don't know this. What kind of country what kind of country are we actually operating? This is unbelievable. This is somebody was sentenced to death for stealing fowl, a food. For God's sake, when we have politicians, governors, ministers, PAMSECs, directors, presidents, government officials stealing millions and billions and even trillions these days, no one has gone to jail. They don't even receive even a slap on their rib, on their wrist. What they do is, after stealing all this money, what rather the society arrogates them with huge respect, honor, worship, and coronate them with titles, confer titles on them, chieftaincy titles. The churches give them position roles. And the leader on the leadership sphere, mosques, the same thing. Organizations give them big leadership roles. They are glorified for stealing the people's money. Such are the people that are supposed to be facing. I've always advocated for death sentence for corrupt public officials. Those are the people that deserves death sentence. Honestly, not someone that is just out there stealing just to survive. For God's sake, Now, I'm not justifying stealing. Stealing is stealing. It is bad. It is evil. It is not the right way to go. It shouldn't be an option. It shouldn't be on the table for anybody. But in this case, why should the punishment be 1,000,000 times bigger than the crime? It is not done, for God's sake. If that, then where is the justice? The justice is about a crime. It's about punishment that is synonymous, that is at par with crime committed. Shame to our Nigeria. I don't understand you. And this thing happened 14 years ago. It happened. People were in the court when this thing happened. The judges heard about, obviously not one judge. Judges heard about. The lawyers were there. They heard about this. Honestly, everybody. I think everybody involved, directly or indirectly, in this matter, either by consent or by knowledge. Honestly, everyone should be held responsible for this. Because I expected lawyers to have cried out. 14 years, for God's sake. This guy has wasted 14 years of his life on a death row. This is unbelievable. Honestly, that judge, we need to know who that judge is. We need to see him, see his picture. Please, I hope and I pray that people actually identify this judge and upload his picture online. We need to know him and see him. For God's sake, does this judge have children? How could they have done this, for God's sake? This is unbelievable. It is egregious. So sad. Usually, I pray for people like that, for God to have mercy on. Honestly, such person, such judge, does not deserve God's mercy. Yeah, someone will say everybody deserves God's mercy, but honestly, this such judge without conscience, a conscience that has been seared like a hot iron passing through through butter or through plastic bag. It's so sad, so unfortunate.